Just moments ago, the world was shaken by a dramatic escalation in the Middle East. Iran has launched a large-scale, highly coordinated retaliatory attack directly targeting Israel, an event that many feared but few truly expected to unfold so suddenly. The skies above Israel lit up as sirens wailed and residents scrambled for shelter, bracing for what would become one of the most significant military strikes in the region's recent history. According to initial reports, Iran fired more than 150 ballistic missiles and unleashed over 100 attack drones, all aimed at major Israeli cities, including Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. The attack was swift and overwhelming, with missiles streaking across the night sky and drones buzzing overhead, leaving little time for Israeli defenses to react. Explosions rocked urban centers, shattering windows and sending shockwaves through neighborhoods that just hours earlier were bustling with life. Despite Israel's advanced air defense systems, several missiles managed to break through, striking residential and commercial buildings. Emergency responders rushed to the scenes, pulling wounded civilians from the rubble and providing urgent medical care. The aftermath is chaotic. Dozens have been reported injured, and the true extent of the damage is still being assessed as authorities work through the night. This attack marks a turning point in the ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel. It's not just another exchange of threats or isolated incidents. This could be the flashpoint that ignites a much wider war, drawing in neighboring countries and potentially destabilizing the entire region. Military forces across the Middle East are now on high alert, and diplomatic channels are buzzing with urgent calls for restraint. Over the next 9 minutes, we'll break down exactly what happened tonight, explore the reasons behind Iran's unprecedented strike, analyze Israel's immediate response, and examine how world leaders are reacting to this rapidly evolving crisis. We'll also look ahead to what this could mean for the future of the Middle East and the world. Stay with us as we unpack this historic and deeply troubling event. On June 13, 2025, Iran launched a major military campaign it called Operation True Promise 3, a name chosen to signal both continuity and escalation from its previous retaliatory strikes. The operation was announced with great fanfare on Iranian state television, accompanied by patriotic music and images of the nation's military might. The Iranian government declared that this was not just another response, but a defining moment in its ongoing confrontation with Israel. The operation was launched as direct retaliation for Israel's Operation Rising Lion, which had struck deep into Iranian territory just days earlier. Israeli airstrikes targeted key nuclear and military sites, resulting in the deaths of several senior commanders and prominent nuclear scientists. The attacks left behind a trail of destruction, flattened buildings, smoldering research facilities, and a nation in mourning for its lost experts. Iranian leaders vowed that the blood of their scientists and officers would not be forgotten, and that a powerful response was inevitable. In the early hours before dawn, Iran unleashed a massive barrage. Over 150 ballistic missiles and more than 100 drones were launched in rapid succession, all aimed at Israeli territory. The skies above the Middle East lit up as missile trails arced across the horizon and drone swarms buzzed toward their targets. This was one of the largest single-day missile and drone attacks in the region's history, designed to overwhelm Israeli defenses and send a clear message of Iranian resolve. The incoming projectiles struck with terrifying force. Both military installations and civilian neighborhoods came under fire, with central Tel Aviv experiencing several direct hits. Explosions rocked the city's skyline, shattering windows and sending residents scrambling for shelter. Emergency vehicles raced through the streets as first responders worked to contain fires and rescue the wounded. The attack left a deep psychological impact on the Israeli public, who had not seen such a concentrated assault on their capital in years. Israel's advanced missile defense systems, including the Iron Dome and Arrow batteries, sprang into action. Working in tandem with radar operators and real-time intelligence, these systems managed to intercept the vast majority of incoming threats. The United States, operating from nearby bases, provided crucial support, sharing satellite data, deploying additional interceptors, and coordinating with Israeli command centers. Despite the scale of the attack, the combined efforts of Israeli and American forces prevented what could have been catastrophic losses. Still, not every missile and drone was stopped. A handful penetrated the defensive shield, striking residential buildings and public spaces. The aftermath was grim. At least 40 to 60 civilians were reported injured, with several apartment blocks left in ruins. Rescue teams worked tirelessly through the night, pulling survivors from the rubble and providing urgent medical care. The attacks left families displaced and communities shaken, underscoring the human cost of the escalating conflict. In a televised address, Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei appeared before the nation and the world. Flanked by military officials and national flags, he declared that Iran's patience had limits and warned that nowhere would be safe for Israel if attacks on Iranian soil continued. His words were met with cheers in Tehran and concern across the globe as the specter of further escalation loomed over the region. This wasn't a spontaneous act, it was planned messaging. Israel's deep strikes destroyed nuclear infrastructure, Natanz, Tehran military compounds, killing commanders including Hossein Salami and Mohammad Bagheri. Iran's response is strategic reprisal, a demonstration of capability and commitment. This first away-from-proxy direct strike signals Iran isn't afraid to cross red lines. Israel unleashed its full missile defense suite Iron Dome Arrow interceptors with help from United States forces. Some missiles got through but damage was limited. Prime Minister Netanyahu called the strike a crossing of the red line, declaring this could mark the start of a sustained campaign. Emergency measures were swift, schools closed, shelters activated, reservists mobilized, and military readiness sharply increased. Oil prices spiked about 7%. Brent hit around $74 per barrel amid Hormuz worries. Diesel futures surged almost 8% too. Global equities dropped sharply. The Dow fell nearly 1.8%, S&P and Nasdaq down over 1%. Inflows into safe havens, gold treasuries and the dollar, jumped. Airspace shut over Jordan, Iraq and Syria in precaution. The United Nations Security Council convened emergency talks. Does this spiral into all-out conflict? It's possible. Iran can expand retaliation proxies like Hezbollah, Iraqi militias, and Houthis could launch coordinated strikes. Cyber warfare targeting critical infrastructure. Accidental strikes on United States or NATO bases that could trigger treaty obligations. Iran may also resume weapons-grade enrichment, potentially abandoning non-proliferation. Both sides now stand armed at the edge of a precipice. What began as a targeted attack just days ago has now spiraled far beyond what anyone could have predicted. In the early hours, a single missile strike was meant to send a message, but instead, it set off a chain reaction that has engulfed the region in uncertainty and fear. The world watched as the situation escalated rapidly, with each side responding in kind and the stakes growing higher by the hour. What started as a localized conflict has mushroomed into a dense, multi-layered crisis. Missiles streaking across the night sky, drones buzzing overhead, and the constant threat of further escalation. The economic impact is already being felt worldwide. Global markets are in turmoil, oil prices are spiking, and investors are scrambling to make sense of the chaos. Emergency response teams are stretched thin, and the sense of global alarm is palpable. Tel Aviv, once bustling and vibrant, has been hit hard. Streets that were filled with life are now scenes of devastation, with emergency vehicles racing through the city and buildings left in ruins. Inside government offices and war rooms, diplomats and military leaders are scrambling to respond, but diplomatic channels are overwhelmed. The window for negotiation appears to be closing fast, and every hour brings new challenges. Around the world, leaders are holding urgent meetings, searching for a way to de-escalate the crisis. The United Nations Security Council has called an emergency session, but so far, words have done little to slow the momentum. The question now looms larger than ever. Will cooler heads prevail and pull us back from the brink, or is the world already on a path toward a much wider, more devastating conflict? Military buildups are intensifying along borders, with soldiers preparing for the worst. Maps of the region light up with new flashpoints, and analysts warn that the situation could spiral out of control at any moment. The trajectory seems set, but history has shown that even in the darkest moments, diplomacy and dialogue can sometimes prevail. What do you think? Are we witnessing the calm before an even greater storm, or is there still hope for a peaceful resolution? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective matters. And remember, if you found value in this video, your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates and in-depth analysis on these critical events. Make sure to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know what topics you want us to cover next. Your engagement helps us reach more people and foster important conversations. And don't forget to subscribe for more hard-hitting updates and analysis you won't hear anywhere else. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's navigate these uncertain times together.